Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Modix video. Today I am going to be showing you guys the best Call of Duty Cold War settings that you need to be using in order to maximize your FPS and so you're able to actually see clearly in the game. I know some of these maps can be very difficult to see and your settings aren't helping you. So today I am going to be showing you those. But before we get into that, I just want to say that I'm probably live on Twitch as you're watching this. So go ahead into the description and click on the top link so that you can be brought to my Twitch and watch me play Call of Duty live, because the game just released and we're having a ton of fun playing with viewers and just hanging out playing some Call of Duty. But let's go ahead and get right into these settings. I don't want to waste any of your time. So to start, we're just going into settings, and here my keyboard and mouse. I'm going to let you guys pause this because I know you're probably not here for this. I plan on 5 sensitivity, 1 everywhere else, and you guys can pause and look at it if you want. But let's talk about the graphic settings because I know that that's what most of you guys are here for. So to start, we're just going to go into display mode and we're making this thing full screen. I would not recommend putting it into windowed full screen or windowed, just because we want our PC to be dedicated towards this application, and when it's full screen, that is going to allow you to do that. Now here we need to choose our monitor. I play on my first monitor, but you can choose your second one. I just keep it on this one and it's up to you. It's preference or whatever monitor you play with, honestly. Refresh rate, this is set to 50 hertz, but like if you have a 144 hertz monitor, then you can change it. I do have a 144 hertz monitor, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. I guess I haven't been playing on it. But then gameplay VSync, just go ahead and disable this one because this only prevents screen tearing issues. And honestly, if you're not having issues with that, just go ahead and disable it. As well as menu VSync, I'd go ahead and disable this as well. NVIDIA Reflex low latency, I went ahead and just enabled this one to normal because it's optimizing my system latency. NVIDIA just helps me out, so a lot of these settings are with NVIDIA, but I'm still giving you guys, even if you don't have NVIDIA, you should still be using these settings. For our display resolution, just go ahead and choose whatever you want to do. I went ahead and just chose the highest 1920 by 1080, but let's say that you are getting some FPS issues. Well, the first way that you should be changing that is by probably making this 1280 by 720, this option right here. But since I'm not having those issues, I can put it on the highest display resolution. Then for aspect ratio, I just went ahead and put it automatic. I know some people do like playing in different aspect ratios, so that's just up to you guys. I just let the game decide for me. I don't really care that much because I am trying to stream the game and I'm trying to make it look good. So if I don't have a good looking stream, then you guys won't come over, which you're already going to do after this. So moving on, if you're colorblind, this is the section that you should be dealing with. I don't know what your colorblind situation is, so I can't really tell you, but field of view, I can tell you, you want it highest possible. That's just how I like to play, and that's what I would recommend having. Let's say you don't have a super good PC, then I'd put it anywhere in between 80 and 100, probably 90, but I like having the max field of view so that I can see most of the map as possible. So I've been playing on 120 all of Cold War, and I would recommend you doing the same if you're able to handle it. ADS field of view, I have it affected. It's up to you if you want this or not. Brightness, that's once again up to your monitor. It all depends on that. Frame rate, I went ahead and went unlimited because my PC can handle it. But for you guys, I would recommend going custom and then just depending on what your refresh rate is. So let's say you have a 60 hertz monitor. I would go ahead and make the custom frame limit something like 80, just so that we're a bit above that. If you have a 144 hertz monitor, I would go ahead and do 160 frames. And then menu, I'd keep it 60. Minimize game, I'd keep it 60, but I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going unlimited. I'm just going to go ahead and put in 300 just in case the setting automatically switches up. Next, let's talk about details and textures. So for the texture quality, you're either going to want to have high or medium. And for this section of the video, we want to be paying attention to this bar down here. As you guys can see, whenever I switch it, my VRAM usage goes down if I switch it to medium. But then if I switch it back to high, my VRAM usage will actually increase. We never want the VRAM usage to go ahead and hit this line because that is not good. It's going to turn red, and red means bad, so don't touch the line. It's that simple. Now for model quality, I went ahead and just put medium settings because we don't need the models to be perfectly like good looking. Just set it on medium, call it a day. I went ahead and turned on and downloaded the HD game textures and models just because my PC can handle it. If you don't have that, then I don't think that you have this here. I'm not too sure though. 4K interface textures, I have mine disabled because I'm not playing in 4K, so I don't need it enabled. If you're playing in 4K, have at it. If you're not playing in 4K, disable it. Special effects quality, that's what I just said. I went ahead, put it on high just because I want it. If you need to save VRAM usage, it doesn't affect it. You guys can see right there. Doesn't affect it. I just turned it on because why not? Screen plate space reflection. This is going to help you on Miami not being able to see people. You will want to have this setting disabled because like there's water on the ground and I guess it like reflects, and I already can't see people on Miami. So go ahead and disable this option. Object view distance. We're going to go ahead and set this one to medium. And I know what you're thinking. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about, but this is just the small objects that can be seen. This is not limiting your view distance for the players. You're still going to be able to see those players. You're just not going to have the small objects pop up. So I recommend doing this because you're going to be way easier. You're going to have a way easier time of actually finding the people, especially like if you're playing Warzone. Make sure that you have this thing on medium. Moving on, let's talk about shadows. Volumetric lighting, just put it on low. Shadow quality, low. I like shadows on low just so that it's easier to see. Dynamic shadows, I have them on all. So that just is going to allow dynamic objects to cast shadows. So as you guys can see on the left, there's no shadows. On the right, there are shadows. If you can see someone's shadow, it gives off their location. So it might be a good idea to just go ahead and turn that thing on. Special effect shadows, I went ahead and enabled it. I guess if you don't want it, you can disable it. I prefer to have it on, so I enabled it. Personal preference there. Weapon shadow, I just went ahead and enabled this one, but this one is on your weapon only. So I guess if you don't want to have it on, you can, of course, disable it. I'm keeping mine on. And then here we are on ray tracing, and this is going to just be ray tracing. Just stick them all on medium. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I don't care what ray tracing is. I've tested it out. My game runs better when it's on medium, so stick it on medium, call it a day. Now, post-processing effects. I have NVIDIA DLSS, and that basically just makes the game look a lot better for me. So I went ahead and did this, but let's say that I was to disable it, then you go ahead and change some of these, but I don't have that. I just go for quality over here. Anti-aliasing, sometimes people like to just turn it as low as possible. It's up to you because the effect on VRAM, it's going to depend on how much VRAM you have left. If you can turn it on to high, then it makes your game look better. But again, it's just all your preference, whatever you want to do. Motion blur, this is not a preference though. You need to disable it. It's going to help your game move or run much better. Disable motion blur, and then it doesn't matter what your motion blur quality is on because we just disabled that. Subsurface scattering, I went ahead and just put enabled because that's how the light goes across. It's some graphic stuff. I like it to look good, so I enabled it. Order independent transparency, just go ahead and disable this because this has a high effect on the VRAM and you don't get that much out of it. We're seeing the Miami car. You just get more lights on those headlights, and we don't need that on a map like Miami where they decided to put a ton of neon lights on, and I'm not very happy about. But that's for another video. Put this on disabled. It's that simple. VRAM usage target, 80%. I just keep it on 80. Don't worry about it. And now here is what we're going to do, whatever monitor you're playing on. So I'm playing on a computer monitor, so I'm going sRGB. But if you are playing on the TV, then you go HDTV. So that's just up to you guys. Display adapter, just go ahead and choose your graphics card, and you'll do fine. And then if you need to restart shaders compilation, go ahead and click right there. And guys, it's going to wrap it up. I did not want to take too much time, and hopefully now you have the best settings. Once again, just go check out that Twitch. The top link in the description. All help is greatly appreciated. I'm probably live while you guys are watching this, so just go hop over, say hey if you want to run some games. I'll be happy to run some with you guys. That's going to wrap it up for today's video though. Thank you so much for watching all the way through, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.